was just trying to hit it hard and at least get one run in, you know, get the ball deep. And I was looking for the fastball. I was going to take my best cut at the fastball and just, you know, try to hit the curveball, adjust the curveball. But he gave me a fastball, and I was fortunate enough to get it out of the park.
Well, the 11th annual Jubilee celebration is in high gear in several locations across our city tonight. Right now, let's go live to downtown Montgomery near the Warehouse District where Jubilee is going on. You see, actually, Jubilee is a number of celebrations being held simultaneously across the city. Here in the lower Commerce Street area at the North Hull Historic District, under the train shed at Union Station, along the waterfront, the Riverway, and inside the Civic Center. There's lots to tell you about. Carrie Gordon of our staff is standing by in downtown Montgomery right now. We'll be back to her later in this program with more pictures from today's activities and a look ahead at tomorrow's activities. Some folks having a good time. Lieutenant Governor, we talked.
Haven't had a chance to come down.
Hello there, Carrie. We had a little minor faux pas getting into you, but Carrie Gordon is live downtown Montgomery right now with Jubilee. What's going on?
Well, since we're here, we'll talk to you, Bob.
That's good. Please
We've had an absolute great time today. We came down this morning and spent most of the day, and now we're back here tonight set up in front of the best little warehouse in Dixie. This is Montgomery at its best. There was so much to choose from today. A ski boat show, a live band competition, food, music, arts and crafts. Really too many activities for us to describe to you. But if you've got the time, we would like to show you a sample of Jubilee in rhyme.
Well, Carrie, lots more on tap tonight, I understand. Things keep going on.
Absolutely. You've got a performance at the Civic Center and music. Tomorrow, daytime events start at noon. Hands across Montgomery at 4 o'clock. You need to come out and support us in that. Still lots to do at Jubilee.
Great. Got to run. Thanks a lot, Carrie Gordon, live downtown. That is it for tonight's 6 o'clock report. Hope you'll be back around tonight at 10. We'll be back after putting on the hits next.
She saw one of the videos on one of the cable channels when all the people were holding hands.
Let me help you up.
Oh,
help you up. You need Sharon.
Country will rise, recognizing that there are poor and homeless. Bless us now, we pray, and bless these who shall go to Memphis. Be with them all the way back on the return.
Alabama is apparently ideal territory for the growing of marijuana, and some officials say cash receipts from pot growing may actually exceed the total of farm commodities produced here. They also say that while only a fraction of the crop is discovered by law enforcement personnel annually, maybe less than 10%, efforts to find and eradicate pot are becoming more successful each year. Corporal Jerry Hatfield is one of 2 full-time pilots with the state troopers who will spend an average of 150 flying hours a month from now until November tracking down marijuana. He's an expert in finding even the smallest patches from the air, such as this tiny spot in the middle of your picture, which had 6 small plants located in what would seem to be a huge ocean of pine trees in Coosa County.
The only place that we don't find marijuana are the places that we haven't searched.
In 1985, law enforcement officials in Alabama found and destroyed 167,000 plants valued at $83.5 million. Alabama ranks 7th in the nation in the amount of pot found and destroyed. Under new federal laws, owners of land with marijuana growing on it will lose their land, face a 3-year prison term without parole, and will be ineligible for federal farm programs. Officials say public cooperation is essential, and Alabama Farm Bureau Federation is volunteering its assistance in making landowners aware of the new penalties by distributing posters and brochures across the state which warn landowners about the new penalties and offer tips on what to do if they find pot growing on their land. Law enforcement officials predict 1986 will be their most successful year yet in finding and destroying marijuana and prosecuting those who grow it. Holly Midgley reporting.
Well, I haven't refused. I've prosecuted ethics violations, and I've referred a number of cases to local DAs. They've got concurrent jurisdictions. Local prosecution is where it belongs most of the time anyhow. But
Commission records show that since 1978, 63 ethics violations were given to the Attorney General's office for investigation. Of those, 4 were prosecuted, 34 were referred to local jurisdictions, and 11 cases were dropped because of a lack of evidence. Graddick defends his record, saying the commission's comments, which appear in an article in today's local newspaper, are distorted and taken out of context.
The article itself is just incredible. They take off after anybody that they're opposed to, and they're opposed to me because I'm conservative and I'm hard-nosed law enforcement.
With only 9 days left before the June 3rd primary, Graddick is focusing his attention on the election, saying he's still very confident about its outcome.
Of course, feel very good because it shows that we've got a very strong second place right now, and we'd like to be in first place, and we're going to keep working hard this week to do that. I think the issues are pretty settled, and I think the voting public at large has pretty much decided who they're going to vote for. Okay.
The springtime celebration known as Jubilee traces its history back over 11 years. Originally, the Montgomery Jewish Women's League conceived Jubilee as a way to bring people down to the historic district to view the beautiful old homes there. As it grew, the Montgomery Chamber of Commerce got involved, as well as the city government, and Jubilee blossomed into the gala enjoyed by thousands this year. Chamber of Commerce Director of Tourism Ken Funderburg says Jubilee isn't a fundraising event at all. It exists just to bring people downtown to celebrate spring.
And it's just entertainment for Montgomeryans and the surrounding area. And it's really just a family-oriented event.
Funderburg estimates that between 30 to 35,000 people came to Jubilee last year. He says the chamber won't know for a few days whether this year's numbers will top 1985's, but feels confidence that Jubilee's trend of growth will continue. In fact, he hopes the celebration can eventually become a major tourist attraction, bringing people from all over to Montgomery, making Jubilee our answer to New Orleans' Mardi Gras.
Other communities have done this sort of thing and have festivals now that have grown and attract people from other areas of their state and surrounding states. And we would like to, to do that here as well.
Cal Calloway, WSFA News 12, Montgomery.
Last-minute handholders were lining up to register, while those who pre-registered were enjoying the food and fun before the human chain was formed through downtown Montgomery. WSFA, Y102, WHHY Radio, and Domino's Pizza sponsored the event, with all donated food items going to the United Way to help the hungry. At 4 o'clock, people began lining up, and then it happened.
So many young, so many old, so many black, so many white, so many people holding hands, all in the spirit of this is a great town, we're going to do what we can to help.
Organizers hope to form a food bank within the next few months in Montgomery, and with the tons of food that has been donated, it shouldn't be a problem.
Make food available at very, very low prices for churches and agencies that already have established feeding programs to come and get that food, and then they can distribute it to their constituents.
Scott Edcock, WSFA News 12, Montgomery.
I thought they were coming through my front end of my house, is the way it felt, really. And then all this dust come rolling in, you know, big cloud of dust. And so rather than come out and see what happened first, I dialed 911.
Sutton started the day up by 3, then went on a tear and padded the lead to 5 shots with a birdie on 10 to go 16 under par. Things looked like a cakewalk for Hal. But then Jack Nicklaus started a tremendous charge on 10. He started a string of 5 straight birdies. At 11, Nicklaus kept his putter going with number 2. Nicklaus was 10 under par. Then on number 12, Nicklaus for his 3rd in a row. The gallery was really starting to have a lot of fun. On 13, the Golden Bear kept him cheering. His putter really working well, his 4th birdie in a row. And then, on 14, Nicklaus completed his birdie string. He ran into some problems after that, but still gave the fans their money's worth. But so did Hal Sutton. This bird on 12 moved him to 18 under par. Sutton finished with a 68 on the day. Jack Gregory, NBC News.
That's a Confederate. And I do what I can for what I do. Some folks say it's crazy to do this, but these fellows will give their whole life for this country. And somebody ought to do something to think of what they have done for the country. I'll put these stick broke off in that one.
Following a 40-minute period where trooper negotiators attempted to contact Godfrey, to no avail, tear gas was fired into the residence at 9:51 p.m. Officers searching the vicinity located Godfrey's body behind his residence, dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The incident began shortly after 5 Sunday afternoon. New Site Police Chief Michael Waldrop and Tallapoosa County Sheriff's Deputy Leonard Brand responded to a domestic disturbance call at the home of W.J. Godfrey, 2 miles north of New Site. After arriving at the Godfrey home, both lawmen were fired upon. A hospital spokesman says Chief Waldrop was shot twice, suffering buckshot wounds from his scalp to his right knee. Waldrop managed to radio for help and was taken to an Alexander City hospital. Deputy Brand was not as lucky. Authorities report he died at the scene from gunshot wounds. A battery of state and local authorities were called in, including a state trooper special tactical team, helicopter, and negotiating team. State Trooper spokesman Roy Smith says 40 minutes of negotiating with Godfrey followed.
To no avail, tear gas was fired into the residence at 9:51 p.m. Officers searching the vicinity located Godfrey's body behind his residence, dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
A Tallapoosa County Sheriff's Department spokesman reports no progress in finding out why Godfrey shot at the lawmen. Wire service reports say Godfrey believed he had cancer and was mentally unstable. Meanwhile, a hospital spokesman says Chief Waldrop remains in stable condition. Andrew Findlay, WSFA News 12, New Site.
Legally, they will have to discuss it privately, the character of the candidate. I would have to thoroughly review the process. We have given them our public trust by putting them in office. I sincerely request that they not betray our trust and that they will honestly and objectively represent the best interests of Montgomery school children during the process of selecting the superintendent. Of the people.
Policy of consensus against
That's
Could you amplify on it a little bit about what you are afraid might happen?
I'm afraid we need the competent leadership, objective decision-making is going to call for.
What difference does it make if they all raise their hand, vote by roll call, or have a seat?
So you think they are entitled to some privacy or some secrecy?
If it would hurt the reputation.
Could you amplify on it a little bit about what you are afraid might happen?
I'm afraid.
Does it make if they all raise their hand, vote by roll call, or have
Elected official, representative of the people. I don't think we're entitled to know anything that would be embarrassing about a candidate in their decision-making process, but I do believe we need to know who they're voting for. We need the competent leadership, objective decision-making is going to call for.
The meeting room was packed with parents, teachers, and other spectators, all waiting to hear word from the school board on their finalists for the county school superintendent. At first, the board had decided to meet behind closed doors to make their selections, but about 45 minutes later, board members returned. A motion surfaced to make their vote public.
And I promise you that if it jeopardized my job for re-election, I would gladly give up that job, because I think the job of getting the right superintendent, the best available, is more important than any one board member on this board.
The board then went through the process of voting on all 10 candidates. Each name was read and voted on. Then the top 3 candidates were selected as finalists. Chairman of the Superintendent Search Committee, Henry Spears, read the final tally.
On the first ballot, the 3 finalists would be Thomas Bobo, James Burns, and Margaret Smith.
Each of the candidates will be interviewed again this week by the county board. A new superintendent is expected to be named by the end of the month. Chet Johnson, WSFA News 12, Montgomery.
And I just feel like the Alabama School Board just didn't do their job.
Well, there are requirements that require that crops have to be planted by a certain time, or else the crop insurance is not valid. And we are urging the Secretary of Agriculture to extend it because of the drought. There are a lot of people that haven't planted peanuts and haven't planted cotton until recently, and therefore this should be some leeway ought to be given to them.
Montgomery police say these 2 suspects, 32-year-old Sammy Arthur Dixon of Macon, Georgia, and 34-year-old William Lamar Bonner of Gray, Georgia, are charged with 5 felony warrants and are strong suspects in 15 other burglaries which occurred Thursday at Stonebridge, South Mall, and Strathmore Apartments. Police Lieutenant Larry Armstead says both men were spotted this afternoon in the Spring Valley area, but a thorough search of that subdivision has so far produced nothing.
And because of that, we've got police officers in the scene on foot. We've got at least 1 officer in the air, along with a state trooper, searching the area trying to come up with that vehicle. Both Bonner and Dixon should be considered armed and dangerous.
City authorities say the men are often seen in the company of this woman, 28-year-old Wanda Lynn Gordon, and possibly 2 other females. In an unrelated case, 37-year-old Algie McCall of Montgomery is charged with 3 counts of armed robbery after he allegedly robbed 3 Montgomery service stations at gunpoint Friday and Saturday nights. Police say he's also wanted in connection with other crimes for the past year. A 16-year-old Selma juvenile arrested with McCall was charged with 1 count of robbery. Bond for McCall was set at $100,000. Chet Johnson, WSFA News 12, Montgomery.
So he was wild, man. Yeah, he was out there doing things.
The newspaper advertisement aimed at Folsom claims he is trying to sell the state Senate to black leaders. The ad refers to a Montgomery Advertiser story that quoted Senator Fred Horn as saying that Folsom had promised Horn and fellow black Senators Hank Sanders and Michael Figures top leadership positions in exchange for the New South Coalition endorsement. Saturday, Folsom blasted the ad and Lieutenant Governor opponent John Teague.
This ad is full of lies and distortions. It is our understanding that this misleading ad was placed by John Teague, and John should be ashamed of himself.
This afternoon, Teague said he had nothing to do with the advertisement.
It's unfortunate that Mr. Folsom seized upon this opportunity to blast me and to look into these same TV cameras and say, "Shame on you, John." Well, I say shame on you, Jim.
A Richard Shelby television advertisement has generated even more controversy. In it, the political records of Shelby and opponent Jim Allen Jr. are compared, including a stance on drunk driving.
On drunk driving, strong supporter of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, admits to drunk driving.
At a press conference today, a Shelby campaign worker went even farther, saying Allen may have been stopped for drunk driving more than once.
But when we've got someone running for office in the
most powerful body in the free world, who has been arrested not once, not twice, but possibly 3 times and maybe more. To me, that's a serious disorder, and, why let something like that slide?
Allen is being low-key about the Shelby ad, saying only he made a mistake, learned a lesson, and has not had a drink since. But another U.S. Senate candidate is being more severe in his criticism. Ted McLaughlin calls the Shelby ad the most despicable he's seen in his 25 years of politics. The Shelby campaign defends the use of the ad, saying it is simply a comparison of records. Alabama voters will give their opinion on June 3rd. Brian Flood, WSFA News 12, Montgomery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Him in the day of battle and in time of rest.
Hard times on the farm have pushed farmers into a financial corner. As more and more farmers go out of business, others begin to wonder if they will be next. But now both groups can find help through the new Farm Crisis and Transition Program.
One of the beautiful things about what we're looking at in the Farm Crisis and Transition Program is it allows the individual to be looked at for his particular problems on his particular turf and design a program that we hope will meet his specific needs.
Gamble says farmers face a number of choices. Some may want to change the way they farm. Others may need to get a part-time job off of the farm, while others still may need to get out of farming altogether. Through the help of state agencies and the state 2-year college system, Gamble says farmers can get help ranging from legal and financial advice to continued education. Couple that with a farm work ethic, and Gamble believes the program will make a difference.
When the chips kind of get down, they buckle their overalls, and they come up and say, hey, I'm going to pull myself up out of this thing. What do I need to get the job done?
Whether you're a displaced farmer or just looking for some professional advice, you can call 1-800-321-0018 for more information about the Farm Crisis Program. Carrie Gordon, WSFA News 12, Montgomery.
And administrators then elected by the trustees. It had never occurred to me that anybody, if we use another word, that they're teaching. And of course, between the two groups you talk about, the fundamental conservatives and the modern conservatives, for the want of better terminology, basically it is how much diversity we can accommodate within our convention. I certainly do not intend to read out those with whom I disagree or those who disagree with me about the meaning of certain passages of Scripture. I can't very well do that because I don't even agree with some of the things I believed 10 years ago. We're going to find that when you stop concentrating on your mission, that is, of preaching the gospel, of doing the commands of Christ at home and to the ends of the earth, that you always turn in, and then the friction, I'm afraid, will become a part of the local church.
Could this, could you have maybe an offshoot of the Baptist church in years ahead? Do you see anything like that happening? Is the friction great enough to, keep snowballing that way?
I do not personally see any split in the convention. I don't believe our Southern Baptist Convention is going to split.
The first half, they was playing us straight up. The second half, they came out and doubled down a lot, and we moved the ball around. The guards were open. They hit some shots, and anytime that happens, you're going to have success.
So I think I was playing okay until I got in foul trouble. Well, I have to learn how to stay out of foul trouble so we can win this series.
It began this morning at 6 a.m. with Baxley working a shift change at the Union Camp plant in Prattville, shaking hands, slapping backs, asking workers for their support. From there, it was on to the Prattville Holiday Inn for a quick breakfast meeting with campaign workers. Then a live appearance on Y102 radio by telephone hookup from a hotel room. Baxley traveled next to Prattville City Hall, where he visited with the mayor and took a quick trip through city offices. The whirlwind tour through Prattville continued through the morning before moving to Montgomery early this afternoon. We caught up with the lieutenant governor again at the Montgomery County Courthouse minutes before an afternoon press conference.
Is this the most distasteful part of politics?
No, it's fun, really, but you just physically couldn't keep it up for, a long period of time. You can't keep up with the pace.
At the press conference that followed our talk, Baxley asked his opponents to spend the final week of the primary campaign focusing on the issues.
And I want to propose that all the candidates pull these negative ads, stop this negative approach, be positive and talk about what each of us propose to do and how we propose to do it and how we propose to pay for it. And it's much more important that we talk about jobs than it is frogs.
26-year-old Michael McCree was off duty last Thanksgiving Eve, the night he shot his 21-year-old friend, Archie James Groomster. Prosecuting attorney Dennis Pearson says the two had been drinking together when McCree took out a .25 caliber revolver and the gun went off, exploding in Groomster's face. 2 months after the fatal shooting, McCree resigned from the Montgomery police force. In closing arguments today, Pearson told jurors, quote, "We expect our police officers not to be reckless when handling guns." The jurors agreed.
Based on his familiarity with firearms, his prior training, the fact that he had been involved in a self-inflicted gunshot wound, all convinced them that he knew the risk involved in the conduct that he engaged in.
Sentencing for McCree is set before Judge William Gordon on June 6th. Manslaughter is punishable for from 1 to 10 years in prison. Lisa Walsh, WSFA News 12.
He's charged with the crime of manslaughter, which is the crime of recklessly causing someone else's death. And the clear evidence in the case was that the victim in the case, James Groomster, very tragically caused the gun to go off and was responsible for the entire accident.
The state's position is that he was reckless in allowing the gun to be handled, not securing the gun, not checking to see if it was loaded or a round in the chamber. I don't think we'll have a final count when we start the removal, but then we'll leave them alone until after the runoff election, and then we'll have another final cleanup. We've notified the candidates that if they want to salvage any of the signs or materials, they're free to do so prior to 8 o'clock on June the 4th.
Forward to in the town that I grew up in, Lynette, Alabama. You know, the track's been there a long time, and it's
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and this time we're going truly is rising. May have already passed one. And the fall before that, a full 12 to 16.
A confirmation and have proof of, last count, the most we've had to get. Slick politician who will do anything to be elected governor of the state of Alabama. The Citizens Committee for Better Government and others, was there no criminal prosecutions and convictions? The answer is simple. Attorney General Charlie Graddick, part of the DA, Mr. Lanier. The young trooper was totally intimidated by the DA. Charlie Graddick's record proves he's a phony, a fake, and a two-faced law and order candidate.
Be more than happy to answer any question. Y'all have to excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. I've had some of these allergies. But as you know,
So maybe Tuesday for you, baby.
so how in the world can Teague call Jim Folsom a racist, and what Jim Folsom did was wrong in giving up the Senate and selling out the Senate leadership positions to 3 black senators for their support? Behind the world, that's almost like calling the pot calling the kettle black for John Teague to say anything, because he did the same thing with ADC, did the same thing with Joe Reed, he did the same thing with Alvin Holmes.
Teague got criticizing each other, and I feel like, as you know, we've been running a few points behind up until a few days ago.
You're saying in essence then that this mudslinging between Teague and Folsom has helped your campaign?
It has helped me tremendously. It has bought so in the future than Mr. Teague and Mr. Folsom.
Mr. Teague says he had
White
He was unable to, so his mother is here representing. Okay, right. Well, we're in the city limits for one thing, which will make it convenient for us and the people. Also, we are close to the water line. The water is here, and the sewer is here, the sewer line, which is important. And everything, the electricity, the gas, everything is right here.
And I'm so glad it's in the city limits. That's what I'm standing here. I need some volunteers to go out and start clearing off this land. We would like to think. There is no way we could thank everybody. But you know who you are.
Troy State and Sacramento State carried a pair of goose eggs into the 4th inning last night, and it appeared that at this late hour, everyone had been lulled to sleep. But then the Troy Bats begin to awaken. Glenn Willis sent this Chris Bennett pitch into the right field darkness for a 1-0 Trojan lead. Sacramento State tied the score at 1 in the bottom of the 6th. But in the top of the 7th, Troy State struck with the long ball again. This time Warren Arrington found a pitch to his liking, and Patterson Field would not hold it. It was a 3-run home run, and it proved to be the real knockout punch of the ball game. The Trojans erupted for 4 more runs in the 8th inning, and Vince Kindred provided the icing on the cake here in the 9th inning, crushing this solo home run way over the left field scoreboard, a scoreboard which would eventually read Troy State 9, Sacramento State 1. Troy starter Jody Ryan fanned Shane Jenney to end the ball game, an end which came at around 12:30 this morning. And while many were fast asleep, deep in their own dreams at that hour, the victory carried Troy State's dreams of a national title one step closer to becoming reality.
The first interviewee was Thomas Bobo, currently the Associate Superintendent of the county school system. Bobo told the board that one of his goals for Montgomery County Schools is the upgrading of all school facilities and seeking continued accreditation for elementary and junior high schools.
We must expand our successful programs such as CPAC and LAMP, establish our new vocational school at whatever level we can afford, work towards securing new revenue and develop a program to market and showcase this system.
The questions from the board range from those dealing with current funding problems to a way to reorganize the county school system. In many instances, Bobo was applauded for his answers by an overflow crowd of parents and school personnel. One board member discussed the problem of truancy in the county school system. Bobo says the answer may be additional supervision.
I think guidance counselors in the elementary schools would do a great deal in alleviating many of the problems that we do have there, and one of them being attendance. I'd like to see, if possible, more teacher aides.
2 more interviews are scheduled for this week. Dr. James Burns of Vero Beach, Florida, and Dr. Margaret Smith of Pennsylvania will face the board, and by the end of the week, a final choice will be made. Shed Johnson, WSFA News 12, Montgomery.
The 5-man NCAA committee made the decision to postpone tonight about 7:30. The game will be replayed at 7 tomorrow night. Let's talk now with Coach Chase Riddle of Troy State. Coach, you had your ace ready to go. Columbus did not, so that's a little bit in their favor, isn't it?
It was a disadvantage to us, Phil, because we had Perez ready to pitch. He's had his proper rest, and we had some momentum going. Our players played a great ball game, I thought, last night, and you just hate to break that with rain or anything else when you got something going for you.
Haven't they handled the pressure well, though?
Oh, they've done a great job, and this has probably been one of the most surprising ball clubs I've ever been associated with.
So you don't worry too much about the 24-hour wait for them, huh?
No, I think they'll be ready to play. This is important to them. They've had to work hard all year. They've come a long way, and I think it will definitely they'll definitely be ready to play.
Okay, good luck, Coach.
Thank you a lot.
Okay, at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, should Troy State lose and another game be necessary, it would then be played the following night at 7 o'clock. Phil Snow reporting from Patterson Field.
Why do you think the public is so, seems to be?
Until we can strengthen our ethics commission, our ethics laws, our financial. Hollywood Women's Committee were the issues of this campaign. And Paul is the front runner in this race and is likely going to give, I would not embarrass anybody. And make it available to everyone. because he has abused the office and he has abused the taxpayers' money by mail-outs, by printing, by many other things that he has done that have been a total abuse of the taxpayers' money. Second place somewhere between 8 and 10 percentage points today. In fact, in my judgment, campaign, and the voters are entitled to know that before they vote next Tuesday. With regard to out-of-state contributions, and I'm certainly going to give you the opportunity to ask questions, but that always is an issue.
Why do you think the public is so, seems to be?
Until we can strengthen our ethics commission, our ethics laws, our financial Hollywood Women's Committee were the issues of this campaign. And is the front runner in this. Because he has abused the office and he has abused the taxpayers' money by mail-outs, by printing, by many other things that he has done that have been a total abuse of the taxpayers' money. Second place somewhere between 8 and 10 percentage points today. In fact, in my judgment, campaign, and the voters are entitled to know that before they vote next Tuesday. With regard to out-of-state contributions, and I'm certainly going to give you the opportunity to ask questions, but that always is an issue.
Educated, unemployed, maladjusted, incarcerated. These youth are school dropouts, pregnant teenagers, drug abusers, and failures. We have the third highest rate of dropouts in the nation and third highest rate of teenage pregnancy. Just to identify.
The NAACP has historically been very concerned about what we call at-risk or high-risk youth. And as the government of the various state agencies like the Department of Education,
Ellis says he went public with the story after he became suspicious that Birmingham City Council President William Bell and then Public Service Commission official Washington Booker accepted $4,000 from him with no intentions of delivering the endorsement of the Birmingham group. Ellis says he never saw any concrete results after he began the payments.
Well, they said they felt good about getting the endorsement. When I would ask them, we feel good about it. What I need to be doing, nothing. You don't need to be doing anything. We're handling it for you. Now, you draw your own conclusions to what that meant. To me, it meant everything was okay, everything's on track. But then later, as late as 2 weeks ago, then I began to have other feelings about it. When things never begin to happen, you know, like they were saying it's going to be good, and it never did turn out good.
Booker wouldn't comment on his involvement in Ellis's campaign. Bell denies taking any money from Ellis.
Ellis says he intends to request a written report from Washington Booker and his associates as to what they've done for the $4,000 payment he gave them. This is Norman Lumpkin, WSFA News 12, Montgomery.
They said they felt good about getting the endorsement. When I would ask them, we feel good about it. What I need to be doing, nothing. You don't need to be doing anything. We're handling it for you. Now, you draw your own conclusions to what that meant. To me, it meant everything was okay, everything's on track. But then later, as late as 2 weeks ago, then I began to have other feelings about it.
They arrive by van, eager to start a new day on the farm. As many as 25 senior citizens from Butler, Conecuh, and Covington counties count on the Life Enrichment Center to get them out of the house and into the world. They help with the chores. They share their love.
It makes them feel needed and useful. It gives them dignity.
It lets them share their experiences, and they have a home atmosphere here.
Most of the senior adults grew up in rural Alabama. But for these visiting kindergarteners from Andalusia, the farm is a new experience. The old folks had a few things to show the youngsters. And in return, the kids shared a part of themselves.
Love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more.
Carrie Gordon, WSFA News 12, Conecuh County.
Charge, and as Jim says, the road angel. The Road Angel is a free service. There's no charge whatsoever for the Road Angel. And what he'll be doing is patrolling the streets and boulevards of Montgomery, mostly during the drive time in the morning and the afternoon. And he'll be coming to the rescue of stranded motorists, out of gas, a flat tire, whatever. He'll be coming to their rescue. He's got a telephone in the white Astro van, and he's a trained technician.